You check your account, there's money there, not a lot, but enough. You tell yourself this time will be different, this time you'll save, build something. Then 3 weeks pass and you're staring at that same number, wondering where it all went. Again. Here's what nobody's telling you. Your money problem isn't about discipline. It's not about budgets or apps or trying harder. Your brain is running code written when you were 7 years old. Invisible programming that turns every dollar you touch into proof of what you already believe about yourself. And the worst part, you can't fight code you don't know exists. Jennifer discovered this at 34. Nurse, good salary, drowning anyway, not because she was reckless, because her brain was protecting her from something she didn't even remember. By the end, you'll know exactly which lines of code are running your financial life, how to see them for the first time, and the neural rewiring process that changes everything in 90 days or less. Think about the software running on your phone. You see the apps, the interface, the things you consciously control, but underneath, there's an operating system. Code you never see, making 10,000 decisions every second about what's possible and what isn't. Your financial mind works the same way, except you didn't choose the operating system. Someone else installed it before you could read. Here's how it happens. Between ages 5 and 9, your brain is in what neuroscientists call the imprint period. You're not analyzing information, you're absorbing it, recording it as absolute truth. Every argument about bills you overheard. Every time your parents went silent when money came up. Every "we can't afford that" or "money doesn't grow on trees" carved itself into your neural pathways like grooves in a record. The voice that says you're not good with money, that's not your voice. It's your mom's anxiety playing on repeat. The belief that wanting more makes you greedy. That's your childhood pastor's sermon hardwired at age 8. The feeling that financial success would make you a bad person. That's your broke uncle's resentment, downloaded before you knew what downloading meant. And here's the brutal part, this code runs automatically. You don't think it, you are it. 3 neural programs control 90% of your financial behavior. And until you see them, you can't rewrite them. Program name survival mode. Core belief there will never be enough. This glitch makes your brain treat money like oxygen in a depressurizing cabin. Conserve, hoard, never use it because you might need it more tomorrow, except tomorrow you still can't spend it. Because the fear isn't about the amount. It's about the belief that scarcity is your permanent address. People running this code do something fascinating. They self-sabotage right when things improve. Get a raise, suddenly the car breaks down, extra money in savings, emergency pops up out of nowhere. Not because the universe hates them, because their brain is maintaining equilibrium. Your subconscious doesn't care if you're comfortable, it cares if you're consistent with your identity. And if your identity is struggling, your brain will make sure you keep struggling. It feels safer than change. The scarcity loop has a signature. You feel guilty every time you spend money on yourself. Even necessary things feel like theft, because deep down your programming says you don't deserve resources. They should go to someone more worthy. That's not truth, that's malware. Program name identity protection. Core belief, financial success would make me someone I'm not. This one's sneaky, it disguises itself as values, humility, staying grounded, not becoming one of those people who care too much about money. Here's what it actually is. A defense mechanism installed by whoever taught you that wanting more was selfish, that rich people are corrupt, that simple living is more spiritual, that people like us don't do that. Your brain took that lesson and built a firewall. Every opportunity to earn more hits that wall and gets blocked. Not consciously. You don't wake up thinking I'm going to sabotage myself today. You just notice that every time you're about to break through, something holds you back. You don't apply for the position. You undercharge for your work. You're uncomfortable negotiating. You feel weird talking about money at all. And you tell yourself it's because you're not motivated by greed. But watch what happens when someone you love needs something. Suddenly the firewall drops. You'll move mountains, find the money, make it work. Because the block was never about the money. It was about whether you believed you were allowed to have it. The Worthiness Firewall has a tell: you're more generous with others than you've ever been with yourself. You'll spend on them without guilt but agonize over buying yourself lunch. Because the code says their needs are valid, yours aren't. Program name safety through smallness. Core belief: if I become financially secure, I'll lose something I can't afford to lose. This is the most invisible glitch, and the most powerful. Some people self-sabotage because staying broke keeps them safe. Safe from judgment, safe from envy, safe from the responsibility that comes with having more, safe from becoming the person their family resented. If you grew up around people who mocked wealthy people, talked about them like they were less than, made money the villain in every story, your subconscious learned that financial success equals rejection, and your brain will do anything to avoid rejection, including keep you poor. The visibility trap makes you feel anxious when good things happen. You get a bonus. Instead of relief, there's dread. Someone compliments your success, you deflect, minimize, make it smaller than it is, because some part of you believes that being seen as successful makes you a target. This glitch has a fingerprint. You dim your own light. You don't share wins, you downplay progress. You're terrified someone will notice you're doing well because you learned that visibility equals vulnerability. Here's what changes everything: neural plasticity. Your brain isn't fixed. Code can be rewritten, but you have to see it first. Jennifer started with one question: where did I learn that money makes people bad? Took her 3 days to find the answer. Age 9, her dad got a promotion, started working more, fighting with her mom more, then left. Jennifer's brain made a connection that wasn't true but felt true: more money equals broken families. For 25 years, she sabotaged every financial opportunity without knowing why, because her subconscious was protecting her from repeating her father's path. Once she saw the code, she could question it. Is that true, or is that a 9-year-old's interpretation of a complicated situation? Did money break her family, or did her dad's choices? She started the rewrite protocol. Every time that old belief surfaced, she asked herself, whose voice is this? Not hers, her childhood fears. 90 days, that's how long it took to install new code, not by thinking different, by acting different. Small moves, saving $20 when the old program screamed waste, spending $50 on herself when the guilt kicked in, saying yes to a side opportunity when the Worthiness Firewall activated. Each action created new neural pathways, proof that contradicted the old programming. Her brain started running new equations. Now debt down to $11,000, savings at $4,200, but the bigger shift was internal. She stopped apologizing for having money, stopped feeling like wanting more made her bad, stopped believing financial peace was for other people. Emma noticed first, said one morning, "Mom, you don't look scared anymore." Jennifer didn't become someone new. She became who she was before the code got installed. Right now, catch the next thought you have about money. Don't judge it, just notice. Where did that thought come from? Your current reality, or something someone told you 20 years ago? Most people discover 90% of their financial beliefs aren't theirs. They're inherited, downloaded, running in the background without permission. Here's your first rewrite: change the pronoun. Stop saying "I'm bad with money," that's identity-level programming. Say instead, "I'm learning to reprogram my relationship with money." One sentence, massive difference, because it acknowledges the truth: you're not broken, you're running someone else's broken code. And code can always be rewritten. Comment code rewritten if you just identified a belief that isn't actually yours. If you're ready to stop letting 7-year-old programming run your 40-year-old bank account, the video on screen shows you the exact 90-day neural rewiring protocol that transforms financial operating systems. Like this if it hit different. Share it with someone still running poverty software without knowing it. Subscribe, because every week we decode the invisible programming that keeps financially intelligent people broke. Become a member for the deep neural rewrite sessions that go layer by layer through every financial glitch. Drop in the comments, what's the one money belief you inherited that you're ready to delete? Let's debug this together.